Who decided to come in today? Oh, you're making her move. You want your regular seat.
She decided to move. I was going to sit in the middle.
This is retribution because I come to his church late.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
It's on. Mr. B is pointing towards my extra large screen. That's a nice big screen, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that most men don't have screens that big, do they?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see your hand.
That's
They say God is rarely early, but he's never late. So he's always on time or something like that. But today or Sunday we talked about a verse in which Jesus kind of was late.
Yeah.
Because he came there after the guy had already died.
Oh.
It's hard to argue that he was on time
Right.
when the guy's dead. It's like, you're a little late that time.
Who got a hold of your head?
What do you mean?
This haircut.
Oh, my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I like it. Do you like it, Beverly?
I love how, it started like an insult.
It's a backhanded compliment, they call that.
Who took it? Oh, it was your wife. Oh,
Well,
yeah,
because
it looks pretty nice.
It's radical. It's radical.
Really? You think it's radical?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's radical. It's like, I can't, what I'm trying to do, then I go, what did it look like? I forget, you know what I mean?
It looked like a mop. If you just imagine a mop.
Why does that happen? I mean, you have a wife who works at Mark's hair salon here. Mark's at the Point, Mark the hair guy. Why is it that the shoemakers kids never have new shoes?
Yep.
Well, that's true in just about every industry.
I have a friend who's a masseuse, and her husband was so excited to marry a masseuse, thinking he's going to get all these free massages.
Yeah.
He's got a massage once in their relationship before they were married.
Well, I'll tell you an embarrassing story.
Okay.
I'm surrounded by prime rib, New York strip.
Probably, this is not to offend, like Jalisco has good Mexican food. Okay. But not to offend
Mexicans?
wherever I've been in the United States, I don't care where I've been, I've never had a taco that I really like. Usually it's the meat's chewy or it's just not. I like a Taco Bell's taco. I do.
Really?
And I know I should be embarrassed with that.
You should be.
But I will say this.
Shame.
I recently found something that, at least momentarily, is better than Taco Bell.
Okay.
I went to Moe's.
Okay.
And I got a taco there the other day. Have you been to Moe's yet? On US 1.
I've not.
It was really good. The only thing is I went, but you go back to someplace too soon. The next time they overfilled it, it fell apart. And on top of that, I was there. Barbara and I went some night. I don't know. It was totally empty, like a week ago, Sunday or something. So then I go last week. I had a business lunch on Thursday or Friday with somebody over there. And it was so noisy. It's kind of like that Citrus Grill on the beach. I can't go there. I can't take the noise. And I can't take the noise at Moe's. I just can't. I don't know. I asked, who was I talking to? A young lady the other day. And I said, she says, yeah, it doesn't, I know where it was. We had to go down. Kyle's fiance, her grandmother got sick. She flew out the other day. So the car's down in West Palm. She's going out there, then her grandmother has died. She's not coming back. And he's been in the other side of Canada. Where's, name it, starts with a V, Vancouver? Okay. So anyway, he doesn't have the keys to her car. He doesn't even have the keys to their apartment. So we had to drive down last night to pick him up. So that means I get to go to the Capitol Grill.
Oh, you lucky you.
I like their steaks, That's made me think about your prime rib this morning. I said, really, Chuck's prime rib, even, I don't even know if they make that at Capitol Grill, but I can honestly look people in the eye and say, Chuck's prime rib is just, I don't know. And now watch this. Now somebody will get a bad prime. Every time you go there, it's good. I mean, it's just.
Well, it's like anything. If you buy quality,
yes,
that's the biggest step you can make. So you get a certified Angus beef, a choice grade. The only other thing you have left is to season it and slow cook it, and it's kind of a non-brainer. But if you get something cheap or something,
is it a no-brainer?
It's a.
You managed to mess up no-brainer in how you said it, because you said a non-brainer.
Did I say a non-brainer?
You said a non-brainer. I've never
It's early.
I've never heard someone mess up no-brainer before. That's the first ironic.
I have to wake up gingerly. I mean, you wake up
Uh,
gingerly. I have to talk gingerly on the radio because I have so many. I have Chuck as a client, 23 years.
Mm.
I have Charlie over at the Ocean Grill. Now, Charlie makes delicious. If you get the appetizer of the what do you call it? Not the what do you call it? Boiled shrimp.
Mm.
You know, where you peel it yourself.
Oh,
and peel it
yeah.
through. It's
Mhm.
absolutely wonderful.
Mhm.
You know, so you don't want to. I don't want to hurt the feelings of any of my restaurateur friends.
Sure.
Plus, they're sponsors.
Yeah.
But I got to say, the best for me, the best shrimp in town probably is the best. There's no doubt the best prime rib though is out there,
Mhm.
and it wasn't
CJ
always that
Davis.
way. I also have to report this because 23 years
18
ago.
years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's you
I
never
asked
want to
Chuck-
give Rhett a bad meal. You'll hear about it for
Right.
20
Well,
years.
I usually like
foodie.
listening to this show, but there was a couple of shows 18 years ago that were terrible.
I deserve
well,
that.
well,
Oh my God! You know,
I'm going to bring that up every once in a while just to keep you in line.
yeah.
You know, there's a Vermont expression. He's got his mouth made up for. Right now, all I can think about is prime rib.
He's got his mouth made up.
I don't know.
Yeah.
if
Is
that's
that a saying?
laugh
His mouth
track.
is
That's
made
funny.
up for prime rib.
He's got a mouth made up.
And that's a Vermont expression.
Listen, I'm going to talk about this. This is really, first of all, April Fool's Day, everybody, right?
No.
So, April showers bring May mildew. Okay. The
Mhm.
boss got me with an April Fool's Day prank. He called me Saturday morning. He said we were switching to an all yodeling format. That's why today I'm wearing a pair of tiny leather shorts. Yodeling lady. Okay, Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie dating. They were seen together. He's a little guy. Maybe Angie adopted Tiny Tim. I don't know, but Tom Cruise and Angelina Jolie romantically involved. It's not going to work. Studies show if you put that much crazy in the same room at the same time, it cancels out the crazy. You wind up with two normal people. That's not good for their careers. You know, when you think about it, it's kind of weird. She used to wear a vial of blood, and
Right.
Yeah.
and who's the other guy?
Billy Bob
Billy,
Thornton.
it was Billy Bob Thornton's blood,
Yeah.
and then she also
Mustard with my French fries. Like mustard with my French sling blade.
and then she also had this weird thing where she was with her brother and they were kind of kissing, and it was weird.
Yeah, can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. While we're sitting here, we know people are going in and out of the Vero Airport on their private jets.
Okay.
I have had a couple of friends who have, fancy vehicles to fly in the air. And I've been privy to maybe like going up to see the governor or whatever. Okay.
Mm.
So I can imagine all of a sudden you're making a lot of dough and
Mm.
you're flying around in your private jet
Mm.
and you're threatened. Well, you haven't had a hit in a long time, Rhett.
Mm.
You know, you get spoiled like that. That's the only royalty we have in America. It's
The
Hollywood.
celebrities.
I'm sorry to say. And and can you imagine you're flying around and all of a sudden say, well, 5 years ago you were bringing $5 million a year and you were spending that every year like everybody does, and now you're not going to be able to fly around on a private jet anymore. What do? I call Tom Cruise and we'll pretend we're dating. Let's be seen some places. Put straight on the top of the list. Look, I'm reading about it this morning.
Wait,
It's in the news. I think they contrive a lot of this stuff. You know?
you're saying you, as Rhett Palmer,
No,
are
I'm
going to
saying-
be pretending to date Tom Cruise?
You let the cat out of the bag.
that
All of a sudden,
would make news. That would.
I don't think it would. You think so?
You know-
Okay, Rhett Palmer comes out of the closet. He's actually gay, and do you
And
think it
he's
would make
dating
the,
Tom Cruise.
And I'm dating Tom Cruise. Would it make the press journal?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't think so. Now, on a national level, if they go, Reisman would just say that's one of Rhett's publicity stunts. One time I was in Canada, and remember the picture I had with me and George Bush on the billboard, which I never got permission from the president to do. But anyway, so he and I are together because I met him a few years ago. But anyway, somebody plastered, who are we gonna bomb tomorrow? And they took this big thing and they had to get up on a big ladder or something in
Nice.
the night, and it was glued right there on the billboard.
Now, did this make you happy?
And Larry, well, it was great publicity because
Yes.
I got front page press locally on Hometown News,
Awesome.
the Press Journal, all this other stuff. And so Larry Reisman had said, I wonder if this is one of Rhett Palmer's publicity stunts. He thought that I did it to myself.
Yeah, it would have been
And
smart.
I said, no, I'm up in Canada. But I think that's why these stars. Now, I remember seeing Joe, who's the one with the fat butt, the girl with the singer? Jolo?
Angelina
Lojo?
Jolie and I'm.
No, not Angelina Jolie.
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Oh, that one, yeah.
She's got a pretty face. That's what I care about. But anyway, she has a pretty nice butt. remember a few
Oh
years
my
ago,
gosh.
the big thing was small butts.
Rhett,
Now
we're
it's-
not going to be talking about butts on the radio with
Okay.
your pastor. This is not how we do things.
But anyway.
But I will say this.
Yes.
Okay, so I have Gospel Minute videos on Facebook, as you know. And no, it'll relate. It'll relate. Okay. So I get a comment I do this funny video with a sword where I talk about the sword of the spirit. And it's very satirical where I talk about, putting the sword in atheist throats and stuff like that.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, and then
Wow.
if you
You're
keep
a
watching,
radical, mean guy.
yeah, exactly. If you keep watching the video, you see that it's a joke. Clearly, someone watched
I
the
don't
first
think you
part.
should do that. Yeah.
Well, someone watched the first part of the video,
No.
and it was this, tattooed up, dreadlocked atheist guy, and he had made this comment of like, "This is evil. I can't believe you're telling to cut
Yeah.
atheist
No,
throat."
I
and
don't think you
everything
should.
like
I don't think you should do
that.
that.
Watch the video. But
Yeah.
anyway,
You need
so,
to go see The Christians. We went to see it last week. The new play over at just Riverside there before it
Well,
disappears.
the
You
whole-
need to see that.
the whole video was about don't be judgmental Christians, and if you watch that, it's really
Yeah, but
clear.
people aren't going to go through that. They think that you really. There's a lot of nuts on TV like that.
Well, here's what's great. So he wrote this, and he says the F word and like F your God and everything like that. And yeah, I know. So I thought about deleting the comment, and then I was like, no, I'll just leave it on. It's the internet. People say things, whatever. That video got like twice as many views because of that comment. And then there are atheist friends of mine who were defending me and talking about how stupid the guy was. It was awesome.
Because it's
Because it's the publicity, and I
See
was
that?
like, well, that guy did me a
that?
favor.
Are we,
and because we're talking about butts on radio today, they will
Oh,
admonish
I thought it was
you.
out of
They
it.
say, "What are you doing hanging out with that wine bibber and that
Yeah.
glutton, that Rhett
Yeah.
Palmer?
Yeah.
Why are you? You see that? Remember, Jesus did that. They said,
Yeah, he
you're a wine bibber. You hang out with those prostitutes and tax collectors, and you companionship with Rhett Palmer,
Yeah.
that bad radio talk host."
I do have people ask me.
Oh, do they?
I
What is
do
it?
have people say,
What is it?
what about you and Rhett? What's going on with that?
What,
It's
they think
like,
we're
it's
gay or
one-
something? Or?
It's one thing that actually, well, I did have.
What they say? What?
I never told you about this, but I did have a woman who was very concerned about me and you.
Why? Because we're
So-
friends?
Apparently,
Oh my
this is really. She had
Tell
a
the
dream,
word.
and
That we were like,
I know. Look at Mr. B on it.
ouch!
But
Ouch!
the thing that cracks me up about this, I was going to say, is that we just started out just a minute ago talking about tacos. I don't know if we're finished with that yet or not, but we're all the way. We're all the way to here.
I want to hear about this lady's dream. What?
Okay, so she comes up. She says, "I need to talk to you about something," and I said, "Okay."
And
she's
she will
very-
remain nameless. We have no idea
No,
what she was. And he
yeah.
has not told me. He would never tell me.
I wouldn't tell
Because
you.
I've asked him about other people and stuff, and he
Yeah.
won't tell me.
Yeah. And
Okay.
she was very serious. And
Yeah.
she said, "Well, I had a dream about you and Rhett, and I'm just concerned." And I said, "Well, what was the dream about?" And she was like, "Well, you were close to Rhett." And I said, "Okay, so are you saying like our relationship is becoming too close?" And she goes, "Yeah, I would say that." And I was just, is it because, is it because of like a spiritual tie that you're talking about? Well, she's like, "Well, you were standing," and Rhett was like, "You." I don't want to go into too many details.
Rhett was what?
Well, behind you.
No, let's not go there.
And so I was like, "Oh, okay, so it's like, you're saying you don't want Rhett to have too much influence over me. Is that what you're trying to say?" And she's like, "No, not exactly." And it takes me like the longest time. I mean, like 5 minutes that she's explaining the dream, that I'm not going there mentally in my head. That I'm just thinking, what is it? Is it the issue
Isn't
that
that-
you just?
Isn't
And then
that
eventually
funny?
she's like, "Well, you know how, like, it can be really bad for a church when there's infidelity or something like that."
I gotta tell you something. First of all, you could do a lot better than Rhett Palmer. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thank you, Rhett.
I was 63-year-old guy.
My first thought when she was saying it was actually when Rhett looked at me one day and just stared at me for the longest time and then said, "Women don't really care about physical attraction at all, do they?" And I said, "What do you mean, Rhett?" And she said, "Well, your wife is very beautiful, but she married you." He said this to me.
okay.
Another backhanded
Let's-
compliment.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on,
yeah.
hold on. Let's for full disclosure, I'm not attracted. I'm the inverted from homosexual. I am totally heterosexual to the point where I can't even figure out what women's, like I got guy friends, but I certainly don't want to be kissing on them. It's just not my thing at all.
Well, you hate facial
And when I have people that I know in town that are gay, I kind of go, what are you guys doing? Like when and it's like it just doesn't do it. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's okay for me not to get it, and because we're all different. But anyway, so that's
But that woman, I mean, she has a warped mind.
people
It was a
think
thing,
things.
yeah.
People
It
are
was a
jealous. People, you never know what's behind. People, maybe she finds me attractive
I
and
think-
was jealous that that you and I are hanging together on the radio and
Yeah.
having lots of fun and stuff. And people go. And also, I do want to say this warning out. Now, watch this next time it happens. I believe, of course, I quote the Bible. People ask me why. It's because it's the only place I ever found truth in my life, and I didn't have a dad, so that's where I found my truth. And it says in the book of Proverbs, if someone repeats a matter to separate friends. Now, somebody comes up to Chuck and goes, "I heard this you meant Rhett Palmer." Now, why are they saying that? Because then it wanders in his head and it causes a separation. Why? If that person has a problem with me, they should come to me. If they're saying it to somebody else, they're trying to separate friends. A person repeats. Think about it. It's evil jealousy.
And some people take dreams way too seriously. And
Well, I'm not talking about
you
dreams.
have
I'm
to
just talking about people say things to separate friends.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that about this woman.
I think she was
maybe
genuinely
Yeah, I
concerned.
think she's concerned. But why? What would you
It was kinda
possibly have
ridiculous.
done? Because you're on my
It was an
radio show?
awkward conversation.
Yeah. And listen, we have no idea who she is, and so you have not. She doesn't have to be worried, and she can always confide in you. Because I've asked him on other things if people have said stuff to him or situations, and he just won't tell me.
That's right.
And that's good. You can trust somebody. Try to get somebody to gossip, and if they won't, then they won't gossip about you. We got to take a break. We'll be back. Chuck, tell them we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
That's
That's
funny.
Yeah, it was super weird. It was super weird. I was like, I don't know what to say here. You don't have anything to worry about, is what I said to her.
She felt free to talk to you.
Well,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah, and
I
she
hope
was
if she was
genuinely
listening
concerned.
today. The last thing we want to do is alienate somebody
No,
that she
Yeah.
can speak to you.
yeah, she can, and I, and
There's somebody in the church, huh?
she's not a regular attender,
Oh,
no, but she is someone who's.
It
come
wasn't
to
that
church
little midget
before.
that was causing all the problems.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Throw that in there like a Twin Peaks.
That would be
thing where
extra
it's
awkward
The
conversation.
midget talks to the pastor about the.
But it felt like a sitcom at that moment.
Yeah,
It
that's
felt
what I'm
like I
saying.
was
I mean,
on
you
a
can build the whole thing up
TV
if you
show.
threw in the midget.
I'm actually quite honest. She would think that a young handsome guy would me. You know what I mean? Like, you never know.
Well, I think part of it
Does this
is.
mean that younger women maybe find me attractive and I didn't realize it?
Well, I'm sure they do, but here's the thing. I think part of it is some people are not used to people being close,
That's true.
and so it makes it
I was
because
going to say that when you were talking about that is I have all kinds of friends and from all kinds of different aspects of life that sometimes they come in and immediately they hug me and they're holding me the whole time they're talking to me
Yeah.
and they're close. And then I'll have somebody come up and say, "Well, what was that all about?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What's that all about?"
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, he's like right in your face and holding on." And I said, "Well, that's just the way he is." I mean, I don't even think like that. I'm just thinking.
It's
I
a
actually think that
Mark.
I'm actually thinking that I like people like that. I mean,
Yeah.
they're really showing you physically
Yeah.
that they like you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I try to hug people like sideways.
Yeah.
Particularly women. I don't like breast to breast. I feel
Yeah.
a little uncomfortable when women hug me.
Well,
Yeah, and you can sometimes do the frame where you have like a
The frame.
like if you were dancing,
Yeah.
and then when you do a frame, you can hug
and you
straight
keep it
on,
like this,
but
and then
it's-
you go in like
yeah,
this.
exactly.
Or like
do that a
or I don't like it when women try to kiss your lips. Like I don't kiss strangers. You
Yeah,
know,
the lip,
the cheeks
the
are one
cheek is
thing.
really
Don't
cute.
go kissing my lips.
Honestly, when especially an older woman kisses my
I'll
cheek,
tell you one
Yeah.
thing.
and
I
there's
have,
something that the little boy in me that just goes, "Oh, that's so sweet,"
Yeah,
you know.
I
yeah,
had
It's like,
the
but
most
the lips is
vile woman that was probably, I mean, she was very elderly, wore a lot of lipstick. That
Yeah, the
always
ones
came
that are
in and
over like
wanted to say
this.
hi to me. Yeah, she loved me.
Yeah.
And she came back in the season in a couple of years. I don't even think she's on Earth anymore. I think she's on. And she goes, "Come give me a kiss." And when I went down to kiss her on the cheek, she smacked one right on my lip so
Oh.
hard that when I got untangled from her, I was full of lipstick,
Yeah.
and I had to go up and Purell my face.
Yeah.
That's how disgusting it was. I had lipstick in my mouth. You know what I mean? It was just, and the thought of it right now is even making me nauseous.
Yeah.
It's really interesting
But it just
listening
cracked me
to you talk about this.
Well, I always wonder, like, women, who was I with the other day? Oh, I was in your church, and I shouldn't say who it was, but a girl came up to me and said, I've always wanted to meet you at the service the other day. And she said, I said, what do you do? So I'm retired from the military, or, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And so she said, I said, oh, so she said, I'm on disability, Bob. I said, disability? And she goes, yeah. She says, sexual. So I said, oh, so you were raped? But when I was telling Barbara last night, she goes, you know, so she was raped, so she gets to have all this money coming in the rest of her life. That's not really. So many people are taking advantage of the government.
Oh, I don't think she's taking advantage. You gotta
It was
hear her.
bad.
Oh, no, what you said?
Yeah, she was actually in the newspaper, so people
Chuck,
do
tell
know
them
about
we'll
her
be
story.
right back.
Just, you know.
We'll be right
People
back.
know who
Well,
she is.
thank
But she
God.
sure
I did hear that.
sweet spot.
She
I
is
did hear
awesome.
that.
She's a wonderful person.
It's getting a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that real hair? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it take to do that?
I don't know.
But
How do people do dreadlocks? How is that started? What do you do?
Takes months.
I mean, what is, I don't understand. Is it something you physically
yeah,
do?
It is. It is. Yeah, and you kind of weave your hair to a certain point, but it takes
then-
time to turn into a dreadlock, basically.
But then it's natural after that. It grows that way.
Yeah.
There's a guy in there the other day, yesterday actually, he was a huge guy. He had to be an athlete of something. He was like 6'8", 300 pounds, a huge guy, but he had really long dreadlocks. And I was just, he was sitting with his back to me, and while I was talking to somebody, I could get a good view of it. And I'm thinking, how do you do that? How does it even start? I don't know. I don't get it.
yeah, well,
And nobody that I asked knew. They said, well, you just let your hair go and it automatically does it. But I said, I don't think the answer was.
Restart.
shut the whole thing down. Let's shut the whole
No,
thing.
don't shut the computer
Andre's got
down.
great
It takes
dreads.
too long.
One of our church members.
Oh, really?
One of our
I've seen some that I actually think are nice looking.